Hello everyone, this is Captain Smith from CaptainSmithDesign.com. I'm going to quickly show you a few differences between male and female figures which might help you on your way to drawing whatever it is you're drawing. Okay, so here I've got two kind of wardrobes. Just to start, lay out in the page what space these figures are going to occupy. The wardrobe on the left is male, this one is female. The first difference, I think, would be the height. So let's say this chap is 6 foot. 6 foot. The female will probably be about here. Maybe slightly higher, but whatever. These are kind of cartoony. We're going to exaggerate the features just to show you what the differences are. And the head will be slightly smaller on a woman, but it's not overly important. If you draw it bigger than that, head sizes vary. The thing I would point out about men is that they have wider shoulders than women. You can play with the distances, but I'm just going to plot in something here. A man's torso, to exaggerate, if you look at sort of bathroom designs, those little figures they have on the doors to show male and female. Actually, they don't have this, but anyway, maybe they should. They should have these kind of triangular shaped torsos for men to really exaggerate the wide shoulders, the lats down here, and the small waist. That's kind of the most archetypal male figure that you've got there. With a female, that angle won't be as exaggerated. You have a slight angle there, but it's not, as extreme. I think where you've got the shoulders being important for a man, I think what's important from a female figure is the width of the hips. I mean, this is, again, like I say, really exaggerated. Don't take these to heart. So far, even just by looking at that, if you've just seen that, you go, okay, that one's a woman, that one is a man. I'm always very careful about giving too much detail, so I'm just pausing to see how much I need to say. Okay, so let's go for the legs now. I'm going to start with the woman. You will find that for purposes of elegance and style, let's say sitting on the tube, females will keep their legs together. I mean, you can draw your own conclusions as to why, but that tends to be just the way it is. So when you're drawing a female like this, even though it's quite difficult to stand like that, especially if you have no feet, you're resting on these little pins, even though it's not realistic, this kind of symbolises a more female kind of position, I'd say. We could even have them more realistic and have them actually standing in a viable position, but having them together, I think, looks more female. Whereas with a man, so we'll do the hips. Look at the hip distance between the apex of the hip and the shoulders here. With a man, the hips are inside the shoulders, as it were. I mean, this isn't realistic because that's probably not the case with a lot of men. Actually, no, it is. But it's not as exaggerated as this. Anyway, the legs, I'd say, would be more sort of uniform. This is a curvy woman, As I said, it's to exaggerate, to show you something to exemplify, not necessarily to be realistic. You could always get away with that, but I think with a man, he'd have his legs apart in this sort of situation. Let's think of just the arm pose to finish off here. I think it's quite masculine to have your arms out by the sides. If you look how footballers stand when they're kind of in, looking tough or whatever, or UFC fighters, they have their arms out. It's a position of power, as far as I can see. Whereas, let's exaggerate here, compared to a woman having her hands behind her back, that's a more submissive, less threatening pose, I think. So, although with the level of detail you could never tell which arms were men's and which arms were women's, you can tell by the pose what's going on. Again, we haven't got any hair here. We haven't got that much detail, to be fair. Yet you just know this is a bloke, that's a woman. I'm not going to add in any more detail. So just to recap, we've got the man being wider and taller. The prominent feature of the man's physique, the torso upper half, is the width of the shoulders going down to a slightly slimmer waist. The female shoulders are not as wide, but the hips are very wide, sorry, compared to the shoulders. Then you've got the legs being together. That's my personal touch. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule. It's just something to help you. And with a man, the legs apart, as well as just the hands being dangling down to show dominance. The female could have her hands behind her back. You know, stuff like this also works. Hands on her hips. And if you want to cheat, you can give her some hair. And then it is an absolute giveaway which one is which. This will probably help you just with looking at figures in general, or even when you're drawing what are they called? Little sketches. You can just, you know, without much detail, you can tell which one is which. You don't need to add in too much, and this will, that's a tree, it's not a person. And this will just help with stuff like that, and in general life with your drawings, particularly cartoons when things are more exaggerated. This is what to look out for. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, any suggestions actually, just let me know down in the comments section below, and I will most likely draw it for you. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you very much. Bye bye.